Florence Rozen. I'm Senior Scientific Advisor with Fonds de Solidarité FTQ. We're based in Quebec. We are a development capital company, as I said, based in Quebec. We have $8.2 billion under management. We're in all sectors of the economy. But our life sciences portion is roughly $300 million. We are considered a retirement savings vehicle for our 580,000 shareholders. We are an evergreen fund that's been around for around 15 years. We are similar to other venture capital firms, but we have an economic mandate in Quebec, so our investments have to be in Quebec, where we have to either create jobs, or every dollar that we spend in Quebec, every dollar that is dispersed has to be spent in Quebec. We have some flexibility to invest outside of Quebec as well, but we have to have that has to result in some economic impact to Quebec. Well, what we look for in a potential investment is not that different from what other VC firms look at. So I'll just tell you what it is first, and then we look at, obviously the science has to be first in class or best in class, innovative, possibly groundbreaking, transformational in best case scenario. We look for a strong management team with expertise in the area. We look for strong IP. We look for commercially validated markets, and there has to be some commercial incentive. We have to have a return for our shareholders. We don't generally lead an investment. We co-lead, but we co-lead, but we like to be part of a syndicate with, deep-pocketed investors, patient investors, investors that are there for the long run, because, as you know, biotech it's certainly not a short-term investment. We need to have enough money around the table to go for another round at least, and enough to create some value, creating milestones, or enough money to take us to an inflection point where we can get a return. So if companies can fulfill all those, that's how they'll get on our radar. Mm-hmm. But we also have a network that we work with. We have invested in, we make direct investments in companies, but we also have investments in some North American funds, and they have companies that they bring to us. There's companies from outside of Quebec that we're looking at bringing some opportunities in Quebec because of the attractive tax credit scenario in Quebec. So those are the type of things we're looking at as well. And through our resources, we can increase our universe of opportunities. Well, if they can show us that they have a product that will eventually lead to something in terms of a return for us, either lead to an acquisition or a licensing, or something where there's an unmet need, something that could create value, and if that opportunity is led by a group that has been able to do that in the past, that certainly would attract our attention. Well, recently, yes, there has been, over this past year, there's been several announcements of funds that have, and there are actually some funds with specific geographic focus. There's been Canadian funds announced, there's been Quebec funds announced, so there has been, I would say, we're starting to see more money out there. In terms of how to access, it's the same way that you would access any other money. You just have to get your story known. You just have to make the rounds. If you talk to one investor, though, they have links to other investors. So the more that you get out there, if your product is worth knowing about, then people will know about it. Well, first of all, my role as a scientific advisor at the fund, um, I like to, and I have to keep up to date of all the latest developments. So this is a good forum to keep up to date with the latest technologies and deal making events. It's also a networking event, just to make sure we all still know who we just to make sure we still keep in touch, find out what we're all doing, trying to syndicate deals together. So it's a good event.